All right, we're going to try this again. Hello, everyone. My name is Kurosh, and we're back with some more Playdays Summer Game Fest coverage. Today, we're going to be talking about Onimusha, Way of the Sword. This is being developed by Capcom, and we got some hands-on time with it. I really dug my time with it just on the onset. This game is so action-forward in a way that I don't think I've appreciated before. And I'll get into why I think that. I got my notes here, kind of just want to refer back to them, but we had about a 30-40 minute hands-on demo, kind of let us go into this region. It was a bit of more of the open worldness, not less so the guided linear stuff you may have seen before, or some of what you see in the public demo that's available out. This was separate from that demo that you're probably experiencing, or if you've tried it, that's what some of what they've shown earlier in their theater stuff or in their trailers. So this area, you kind of get open up to a shrine area, and there's a bunch of little quests and villagers that are asking you to help in various ways, and you run into different encounters. The biggest thing I can say to what the game is doing well, and it really highlights and showcases it with the demo and with everything I've experienced thus far, is the combat. The combat is always first. The combat is very in your face. It's dynamic. It's and what I mean by dynamic, I guess, is it's very kinetic, and moment to moment doesn't feel repetitive. You're not just like kind of hacking and slashing, just spamming X or Y, even though I was very much tempted to. But it's very intentional about what it's wanting you to do and wanting you to feel like doing. I think we've seen a lot of great strides taken with games like Ghost of Tsushima, the Souls-like games, with the Nioh-like games, with Elden Ring, and so many others like it. I thought this game, with what it's doing, it's so many layers of like getting you to engage with it and feel like a badass, whether that be you attacking at the same time the enemy's attacking, and just clashing swords and having this little back and forth moment that feels quick-timey but isn't, and it only feels quick-timey in just that the camera kind of focuses in on it. But once you're like in it and you're going back and forth, it can go any which way. If you press the wrong attack, or if the enemy gets the upper hand, they get the upper end of that engagement. But then you could as well, you could sweep the leg, you could slash them in the back, you can make them susceptible for a bigger attack that you could follow up with. There's directional parrying and directional deflecting of arrows or projectiles or of melee attacks. There's the parry, which many fans of these more combat-intensive kind of games enjoy. There's the perfect parry, which then rewards you even further. And then there's these elements where it's like the perfect dodge, and I almost want to call it like the perfect parry. It's like, instead of trying to block or parry the attack, you just try to attack in this even smaller window, and it almost does like a riposte before they even get a chance to. It's like you saw them attacking before, and you kind of get that moment to be like, no, I knew you were doing that, I'm 8 steps ahead of you. And that reward, like, it's so satisfying when you pull any version of these off. I was always like, okay, what do I want to do the next one, and in the next encounter, how do I want to approach this scene, this grouping, or this one individual, or whoever I'm fighting. And you fight different types of enemies. You got these like floating heads, you got like various enemy designs that like we kind of saw. We saw like 5 or 6 different enemy types, and a boss at the end, which was really cool. But again, kind of like the feeling of being a badass, going kind of very forward full, further into the combat. If you're able to keep successfully building off this, you kind of fill a meter, and when your meter's full, you just enter like almost like a god mode, not a god mode, but like you feel like this badass mode where it opens up another set of combinations to you, where if you are finishing off one enemy, it immediately lets you target like a couple others in the nearby vicinity, and that is very satisfying. It kind of reminiscent of if you're familiar with like the Arkham games, you just kind of can jump from enemy to enemy, but in these finisher kind of way. And then like they're all just like taken out before you know it, and I dig that. I think it never felt like it was languishing or like letting you feel like you're just running about, not doing anything productive. If you're not in the engagements themselves, you're kind of discovering the area. And then the area is very historically inspired, with these areas in kind of the Edo period, Kyoto scene and themes and tones. It's a fictionalized version with these demons and everything, but the historical like landmarks and things, we've been told, is very much drawing from those areas as inspiration. And then the boss fight was super cool. He was this crazy guy. I don't know how much I want to share about him, but just like he had numerous mechanics to him that at every layer of it, like if you're familiar with like a Souls-like or a Nioh-like game, there's layers to and levels to. Oh, you got him to this point. Okay, now a new thing is coming, and they have bits of moment of in the encounter itself to teach you, but also once it doesn't hold back, it's very aggressive in your direction too. And that fight was so satisfying. It felt like this back and forth, very anime-esque, like clash of two badasses. The last thing I'll say, I guess, before I give my overall thoughts, but like the two main points that I think were a little bit of a concern, not concern, just a gripe, I guess, criticism, is it offers this like handy, hey, you should press L1 or square or something if we think you should block or dodge. The timing of those was off and it kept throwing me off. The good thing is you can turn that off if you don't like it or if it throws you off. And the other thing for me was the voice work, the performances. Something about, it's not that they were outright, they aren't that good or bad. It was just that it didn't feel like it fit with the tone in the English voice work. I very much, as soon as I could with my demo kind of overseer, shout out to Richie. Richie was the GOAT. We had such a blast when we were demoing it, when he was like watching me and guiding me through the demo. But I very much was curious what the Japanese voice work would be like, and it fits so well. And I encourage you, if you're at all inclined to kind of lean more into the atmosphere and the tone of it, I think plays better that way. But maybe that's something that they're gonna work on. I don't know. It was just more of a me thing. I'd say whatever you're saying, if you could kind of tell if you're vibing with it or not, but it wasn't a make or break. The game itself feels very great. I can't wait to get hands on it. I should also preface, it looked beautiful. I imagine it's going to look great on all systems. We did demo this on a PS5 Pro, and it looked beautiful. The moments, the clashing, the action was all great. So September 25th this year is going to be coming out. Excited to share more when we see it and we play it, but very excited to see kind of another take or entry in the world of kind of combat focused action oriented games. We've seen some great stuff with like Stellar Blade, again, Nioh, Ghost of Tsushima. I feel like there's always this worry of monotony, and this very much clearly has this identity of what this game is going for and what it's trying to do to stand out in that space. And I think it's doing it in strides, and it could be a big kind of boon to what it's doing. This is a storied franchise. This is my first entry in it, so I'm very curious what the past entries were like. I might have to dig back into that backlog and see what it's like, but this I think is a great on-ramp point for anyone that I didn't feel lost in what I was doing and everything. I think it just further enriches the experience if you know the past this game history. But we'll have more coverage for you soon. Until then, we'll catch you on the next save point.